Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Britain F1. If you are new to my channel and you like the look of this channel, then please hit the subscribe button down below, and if you do like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Now, I am so sorry that the lighting is a bit different today and you might see the lighting a bit like this in my upcoming videos, purely based on the fact that it is winter here in England now, so it gets very dark very early and I am now back at work, so I have to obviously film in the evening, so I'm really sorry about the lighting. So today's video I want to dedicate to Lewis Hamilton, and I'm quite surprised I haven't actually done a video on Lewis Hamilton yet, as because some of you may know I am a bit of a Lewis Hamilton fangirl, so I find it weird that I haven't actually done a video on him yet, but as we all know, he equals Michael Schumacher's race win record this weekend in Russia, which is massive. It was a massive achievement and I want to obviously speak about that in this video. And the question I kind of want to ask in today's video is that, is Lewis Hamilton one of the greatest F1 drivers ever? But we just don't know it yet. So this weekend, Lewis of course equalled Michael Schumacher's 91 race win record in Germany, and I felt like it was meant to be this weekend. He had a lot of pressure on him going into the Russian weekend. As we all know, Netflix were following Lewis then, and the curse kind of followed him throughout that weekend. He didn't get the win that everyone obviously thought he was going to get. Bottas got it, and for me, I feel like it was meant to be that Bottas won that weekend and Lewis won this weekend, only because it seemed right for Lewis to take the race win record in Germany. Of course, Michael Schumacher is from Germany, so it just seemed right that it had to be in Germany. And of course, Michael's son Mick was there to dedicate one of Michael Schumacher's helmets to Lewis, which was such a beautiful tribute. For me, I got quite emotional. I didn't think I would, obviously, when he crossed the line. It was amazing, but that moment when Mick handed Lewis the helmet, tears were filling up in my eyes, and it was one of the greatest moments I have ever witnessed, and I feel like we were really witnessing history at that point, and it was quite astonishing to see, because when I got into the sport in about 2007, I looked at Michael as one of the greatest, and he is still one of the greatest, and a 7-time world champion for me just never seemed reachable for anyone else. And to think Lewis is obviously on the cusp of that as well, and of all the race wins and all the race records Michael set, just I felt were untouchable. And so for me to see Lewis get those achievements is crazy. And the reason why I got so emotional is because Lewis grew up down the road from me. He grew up in Stevenage, which is literally 10 minutes away from me, and he's basically a local hero here. And to see what he has done in Formula 1 and to be surpassing Michael's records is crazy, and it has really made me believe that if you want to do something, if you have a goal, you can do it. Like, how has a guy from my local area surpassed Michael's records? It's crazy for me to think, and that's why I get so emotional, because it just makes you realise if you want to do something that you love, you can do it. It's also really breathtaking to witness these records being broken as well, is because they're probably not going to be matched now for years to come, just like how Michael's records were. And someone said it, put out a tweet saying, wouldn't it be amazing if Mick could come into Formula One and beat Lewis's records, and then Lewis would be handing Mick his helmet. And that's crazy for me to think about, but you know, it could happen. But I think we have to really appreciate what Lewis is doing in Formula One right now, because it is history, and I don't think these records will be broken for a very long time, because Lewis, I believe, still has a few years left in him, so he is obviously going to exceed all those records, which is crazy to think about. Now, the reason why I want to ask the question of, is Lewis Hamilton one of the greatest? Is he the greatest F1 driver ever? And we just don't know it yet, is because for me, when we look at great drivers or great athletes, we don't really appreciate what they have achieved until they have either left the sport. For me, Lewis is transcending motorsport. He's transcending Formula One. He is more than Formula One. He is more than the car. What he is doing outside of Formula One is amazing, and I think a lot of people should be doing what he is doing. He's now seen as a superstar outside of Formula One. He's that celebrity. He's got a clothing line with Tommy Hilfiger. He does all these fashion brands. He does modelling. He does campaigning for climate change. And he now has his own team in Extreme E. And, you know, it's more than the sport. And I think that is why he is transcendent into one of the greatest. For me, he's really putting Formula One on the map, and you know, you don't really see any other drivers doing what he is doing, so that's why I kind of see him as one of the greatest, because we have never seen this from a driver before, a driver really speaking out. We have never really seen a driver use their platform for other social aspects. And for me, that is what he is doing. I also find it ludicrous when people can't respect what Lewis has achieved, or the records he is breaking. People just say, oh, it's the car. But you know, Mercedes and Lewis have been dominant in this hybrid era. We can't deny that. But you have to look at Michael Schumacher. And when Michael Schumacher was dominating, he was dominating in that Ferrari. He was doing exactly the same as what Lewis is doing. And I don't like it when people just say, oh yeah, Michael's better. But you have to look at it as if they were both the greatest of their generations. And Lewis, for me, and probably for a lot of people, is the greatest driver of this generation. And I don't think we're going to see someone like Lewis for a very long time. You only have to look back at Lewis's time in F1 as well to understand and realise he is one of the greatest. In 2007, when he came into Formula One, in his rookie season, he almost won his first world championship. In his rookie season. Like, what? We haven't seen that for a very long time. And he came in and his teammate was a two-time world champion just off the back of back-to-back world championships, Fernando Alonso. And he absolutely dominated Fernando Alonso, which just shows you how good he was. And then the next year went on to win his first world championship. And I think there has only been one bad season for Lewis, and that was in 2011, I believe, where he wasn't as good, but you know, that could be put down to the car. McLaren at that time wasn't that great, so you know, all wasn't his fault. And to quote Niki Lauda and Martin Brundle, because they have both said this, is that the best drivers end up in the best cars, and that's what Lewis Hamilton has done. And he has gone on to become, for me, one of the greatest and possibly the greatest F1 driver ever. So thanks for watching this video, guys. I just wanted to kind of dedicate this video to Lewis Hamilton because I think what he has done is a massive achievement in the sport, and I don't think we're going to see these records broken for a very long time. So I just wanted to celebrate that and really speak about why I believe Lewis is one of the greatest. You know, you don't have to agree with me because a lot of people don't agree sometimes on Lewis, which is a shame because he should be celebrated for what he has done, and it's not all down to the car. But let me know how you guys feel about Lewis equaling Michael Schumacher's race win record and obviously going on to maybe equal his world title as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!